What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Planetary Reviews, and I am here to finally review one of my most anticipated games of the year, Spider-Man for PS4. When I first saw this game get revealed at E3, I was ecstatic. I thought this game was going to be awesome. I was so happy that a group of people like the guys that work in Insomniac, which have made some of my favorite games, I was so happy that they were going to develop this game. For the longest time, we've gotten some good Spider-Man games in the past, but not all of them have been up to par to what we wanted. Really, the best ones that have come out are Spider-Man 2 and Ultimate Spider-Man, and I liked Web of Shadows. Those are my three favorite Spider-Man games of all time. I also like the original one on the, not original, but on the PlayStation 1 and on the N64, just Spider-Man. That one was also good, really classic Spider-Man game, but for the most part, we haven't gotten that Spider-Man game that feels, in my opinion, super polished, super just AAA, a lot of hard work put into this game, and it just looks awesome. This was the first one that we finally had something like that. And all I gotta say, guys, is that this game is absolutely amazing. No pun intended, this game is awesome. But let's get down to why. The story to this game is that Peter Parker has been Spider-Man for 8 years now. He's been working really hard to take down Fisk, and right at the opening of the game, that's what your goal is. You're taking down Fisk after 8 years of hard work, and you finally get to. But then, after you take him down, you start to realize that even though he's a bad guy, he was the one really keeping some of the other gangs at bay. He was the one making sure that other gangs weren't trying to take too much power. Yes, there were illegal things going on in the background, but he tried to keep a balance with it, which makes you always throughout the game go, was it right to take him down completely? And I like that. I like that little question. It's not something that's focused on 100%, but it's something that makes you think right in the beginning, like, man, Fisk may be bad, but it seems he kept everything at least balanced a little bit. But after that, after Fisk gets taken down, a group called the Demons, led by a man named Mr. Negative, decides to say, hey, we're going to take this place over. This is our turf now. And as the story unfolds, you learn more about Peter's personal life. You learn more about Peter's relationship with MJ as the story goes on. You learn what's going on with Aunt May, how she ended up in this place called Feast that is helping homeless people in a homeless shelter, which is awesome. So you get a really large amount of just characterization, great storytelling, great voice acting throughout the story. I really have to commend Yuri Lowenthal for playing Spider-Man. He did an amazing job, and he even differentiated a little bit with his voice acting for Peter Parker when you were just playing as Peter, and when you were Spider-Man. He was able to show off like almost like a different type of person, almost similar like what is in the comic, where Peter is more like just a to himself, nerdy type of kid. But then, when he puts on the suit, he's more cocky. Yeah, he's still a nerd deep down inside, and you can hear it from his really amazing quips. You can always hear it, but you could really hear the tone difference. You could hear the way he speaks, the confidence that ensues from him when he puts on the suit, thanks to Yuri's performance. I couldn't believe how great he did, because for most of my life, every time I thought of Peter Parker's voice, because it was the first time I ever saw him done in live action, is Tobey Maguire. That's one of the ones that I think of every time. Every time I hear Spider-Man speak in my head while I'm reading a comic, that's the voice I hear. It's just the way it is. But I really have to commend not only Yuri Lowenthal, but everyone in this game. The performances across the board were awesome. I couldn't believe it. You really believed every single character in this game, how they were feeling, all the emotions. You really felt it through the performance of each character. The only slight negative thing about the story you'll find is that if you do know Spider-Man comics, you'll probably be able to predict a little bit of what's going to happen in this story, but the game does at least give you some twists and turns here and there that even I, for a second, didn't really think was going to happen. And that was really cool. It was refreshing to see that and feel that after a little bit of being able to go through the story and go, I knew that was going to happen. I think I knew that, yep. But then after the story went on, as I was getting closer to the end, it was like, whoa, I wasn't ready for that. But that's my opinion on the story. Let's get to the nitty-gritty So let's just first talk about the graphics on this game. I was playing on a PS4 Pro on a 1080p screen, and this game looked beautiful. There were just some moments when you're just swinging around the city, the sun hits you at the right angle. It looks absolutely breathtaking when you see this game in motion. Then there are even better moments where like you're standing on the tip of maybe like the Empire State Building, any kind of tall building really, and you just take a second to look at the city itself and just see how much detail Insomniac's crew just took to develop this version of Manhattan, which is big, by the way. This is the most dense version of New York we've had yet, and it is great. There are certain parts of the city that I sat there as a person who is a New Yorker and has gone to Manhattan many times. I sat there and I was like, I had to take a double take and go, did they really just replicate a street or an exact building at times? It was amazing. I was like, this is awesome. The version of the city not only looks great, but it also feels alive. The characters walking around the streets, yeah, they're NPCs, but they have a little bit more to them. People will walk up to you and they'll want to high five you. They'll be saying, you'll be hearing little bits about what people are saying about you as you're swinging around, as you're just walking around the street. And also, the performance of this game is, oh my god, for how great this game looks, I cannot believe how smooth the game performs. It performs beautifully. You're not going to experience any frame rate drop. It was great. In terms of glitches, the only glitch I ever bumped into throughout this entire playthrough, and by the way, I platinumed this game, and I did 100% of it, so I played a lot of it. So the only glitch I really bumped into was just this one thing that happens when you get too close to the ground and you press the swing button. You may have like an awkward animation that happens when you're doing that. But really, other than that, I really didn't find any glitches that really stood out and ruined the experience. And speaking of web swinging in this game is phenomenal. I cannot believe it. I've always loved Spider-Man 2's web swinging. I always thought that game was perfect when it came to that. But this game, it's just so much fun just to swing around, do some tricks when you unlock that upgrade. You can just feel it. It feels beautiful. It's relaxing. It's soothing just to sit there and swing around the city. Just enjoy it. It feels so fluid. Yeah, some people will notice that you do need a building next to you, but you will find situations where you're swinging by an angle, but to keep the momentum going, they're kind of just letting you keep going, even though you shouldn't realistically be able to go through that angle as smooth as you're going. But that's okay, because they want you to feel like you're always on the move and nothing is obstructing you. But they do definitely make sure that if you want to swing, you need something solid near you. You need a building, some kind of pole, something that you need to swing by. And that feels awesome. The next thing I want to talk about is the combat. The combat in this game is amazing. Spectacular even. Haha, that one was a pun. But the combat in this game, a lot of people at first glance are going to sit there and be like, oh god, it's a Batman clone. It looks exactly like that. It looks like it's just copying Batman's fighting style. But there is a lot more depth to it. There's a lot more movement. You're going to be moving a lot more. You're not just going to magnetize somebody when you hit square because you're not some professional martial artist. You're just someone that knows how to wrestle and knows some, I forgot what the name of the Brazilian fighting style, but it looks like breakdancing kind of, I'm sorry. But it is really amazing just seeing that and just seeing how fluid it feels and just how awesome it feels to punch, to kick, to web swing into enemies, to use your gadgets, and also there's a large variety when it comes to how you could tackle a certain situation. And if you're going on a base takedown mission, you don't have to go in there with a combat mentality. You could go in there, use your gadgets wisely, and take them down stealthily, or you could just go in there and go guns a-blazing and beat the hell out of everybody that's in that base. It's all up to you, and the game gives you every single tool you need to go in there the way you want to go. And also, when it comes to content in this game, there's so much stuff to do, it's not even funny. You have a ton of different things. You have bases that you could take down that give you base tokens. You have backpacks that you could hunt down that give you little backpack tokens that allow you to unlock different outfits, which by the way, there are a ton of suits. I'm not going to show you any of them other than the one that you're going to see in this the gameplay that I'm putting up for you, because I don't want to spoil any of them, but there is a ton of suits. And then you could use these tokens to make the suits, to make upgrades. You'll find suit mods that'll give you maybe take less bullet damage, temporary damage boost. Then you have 3 skill trees that focus more on defending, web swinging, and like gadgets and stuff like that. There are a ton of different things in this game that make the gameplay varied, and it feels awesome. It never gets boring to just fight these dudes, to go stealthily. I always found myself just loving the fighting. And then the next thing I want to say, when it comes to immersion in this game, there's one particular area of expertise that I feel like this game mastered. And that is just the world building. How alive it felt. How much the world is reacting to what you're doing. Because while you're swinging around, you have J. Jonah Jameson's podcast going on in the background, which you do have the option to unsubscribe to. But why would you? Why wouldn't you want to listen to J. Jonah Jameson speak? As you're swinging around, you'll hear him comment about something you did in the last story mission, and he'll interview someone during that episode sometimes, and you'll hear this great dialogue, this great going back and forth about why he feels Spider-Man is a menace, why he feels Spider-Man is someone that should be stopped. It's awesome, and his vocal performance, I'm sorry I don't know the name of the voice actor at the moment, but he did amazing. Just Spider-Man PS4 is one of those games that will be remembered for quite a while. Just like Spider-Man 2, the game was remembered, this is finally the Spider-Man game that is able, in my opinion, to top it in memorable moments, story. You're gonna feel emotions when you're playing this game. By the time you get to the end, you're gonna feel every bit. And all the details in this game are absolutely amazing. Guys, Spider-Man PS4 is not only a great game, it is a great superhero game, it is a great Spider-Man game, and it is a great game in general. Does it create anything new in terms of how to do an open world game? No, it doesn't. But what it does do is that it takes the formula of an open world game and makes it extremely fun. It makes it a little bit more interesting by giving you more reasons to go do these things. Now, to be fair, does it get a little repetitive after a while to do certain bases, to just keep doing those, do these challenges? A little bit. Some of the missions do get a little repetitive if you play it for long stretches, you might feel it. But in my opinion, the combat and the options that you have to go about these missions always make it feel fresh. So, guys, at the end of the day, Insomniac's Spider-Man for PS4, I'm very proud and happy to say it gets a solid A from me, guys. Guys, thank you so much for watching. This was an amazing review to do. I was so happy. I haven't had this much fun reviewing a game in so long. This game was incredible. I'm so happy it came out. I'm so happy I got to experience a game like this, and I haven't felt the joy that I felt playing a video game just in a while from a game like this, and I'm so happy that it's from a Spider-Man game. But guys, those are my thoughts on the game. What did you guys think? Did you guys think it was better than what I said? Did you think it was worse than what I said? Did you like the story? What's your favorite suit? What's your favorite part about it? Just in general, let's just talk Spider-Man in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. But guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.